He was tied with wire, stabbed in the neck, and bludgeoned with a 6.5 kilograms iron pestle, all for a cell phone and a gold scale. In November 2021, a brutal murder at Etina 148 mine near Kadoma shocked Zimbabwe's mining community. The victim was Melody Makaramba, a respected gold smelter. The killers were fellow miners driven by greed. This case became a landmark ruling against rampant claim violence. Etina 148 mine, located in the Mashonaland West Province, had become a magnet for artisanal gold miners hoping to strike it rich. The area was informal and unregulated, like many of Zimbabwe's gold fields, creating a breeding ground for disputes over claims and increasing incidents of violence. Among those navigating this environment was 32-year-old Melody Makaramba. Known for his honesty and calm demeanor, he had built a reputation as a reliable gold smelter who mediated small transactions for miners lacking formal market access. On the evening of November 2, 2021, Melody was at his smelting room when he received a knock at the door. Two men, Admire N-Cube and Taurus Kapeni, both of whom he recognized, claimed they had gold to sell. Trusting them, he opened the door. Within moments, they attacked him. The crime was as sudden as it was savage. The attackers tied Melody's hands with wire, then stabbed him in the neck with an okapi knife. As he bled out, one of them lifted a 6.5 kilogram iron pestle commonly used in gold processing and brought it down on his head. Melody died within minutes. The next morning, Melody's body was discovered by a fellow miner who had come by to conduct a transaction. The sight was horrifying. Blood was pooled on the earthen floor. His body slumped against the smelter's wall, wire embedded in his wrists. Missing from the scene were his mobile phone, gold scale, and a small leather wallet miners typically use to carry cash and gold chips. The police were called to the scene, and within 48 hours, arrests were made. N-Cube and Kapeni were located at a nearby mining encampment, attempting to sell a gold scale. A third man, who was later identified as having helped plan the attack, was also detained. Investigators found Melody's phone in N-Cube's backpack as well as a cloth stained with blood. During questioning, N-Cube confessed to being at the scene but claimed Kapeni had been the one to stab Melody. He said the attack had not been pre-planned but escalated after a dispute over payment. Kapeni, however, denied any involvement. The third accused maintained that he had only provided information about Melody's habits, not expecting a murder to take place. Police were unconvinced. Forensic teams found fingerprints from all three men on the wire and the pestle. Bloodstains on N-Cube's shirt matched Melody's DNA. A post-mortem confirmed the fatal wound had been a penetrating stab to the neck, followed by blunt force trauma to the skull. Investigators described the attack as deliberate and coordinated. At the preliminary hearing in early 2022, prosecutors argued that the murder was not simply a robbery gone wrong, but an intentional act meant to eliminate a man who stood in the way of their illicit dealings. Witnesses testified that Melody had recently refused to process a quantity of gold he believed to be stolen, a decision that may have angered the accused. As the trial opened in May 2023 at the Chennai High Court, the courtroom was packed. Mourners from Kadoma, fellow miners, and human rights observers filled the gallery. The prosecution presented 17 witnesses, including police officers, forensic experts, and community members. One pivotal testimony came from a miner who claimed N-Cube had bragged about the killing the day after it happened. He described how it was done quickly and confidently, implying that no one would miss the victim. Defense lawyers tried to cast doubt on the chain of custody of the evidence and suggested the confessions had been coerced. But the judge was unpersuaded. The forensic trail was clean, and the stolen items directly linked the defendants to the crime scene. The presiding judge emphasized the lack of remorse and the premeditated nature of the act. She sentenced N-Cube and Kapeni to life imprisonment, citing aggravating factors including the planning involved and the betrayal of trust. The third accomplice, found guilty of lesser charges, received 30 years in prison. The verdict was met with muted relief. Melody's family was visibly emotional in the courtroom. Outside the courthouse, miners held signs calling for justice and better protection. Human rights advocates hailed the ruling as a significant precedent in a country where mining violence often goes unpunished. The decision was seen as a formal acknowledgement that such crimes would no longer be tolerated. The Etina mine murder case stands as a stark reminder of the perils within Zimbabwe's gold mining sector. Artisanal mining accounts for over 60% of the country's gold output, yet remains largely unregulated. With little government oversight, miners are left vulnerable to extortion, claim disputes, and violent retaliation. Melody Makaramba's death brought renewed focus on the risks miners face. Civil society groups have since called for the establishment of formal dispute resolution systems, mobile police patrols in mining zones, and miner registration initiatives to reduce anonymity and deter crime. In the wake of the ruling, the Ministry of Mines issued a statement urging all operators to adopt conflict prevention protocols. However, critics argue enforcement remains weak and that without systemic reform, such killings will continue. For those who knew Melody, the loss is irreplaceable. He was regarded as trustworthy and principled. His absence left a void in the community. The swift and decisive legal response to Melody Makaramba's murder serves as both a deterrent and a call to action. It underscored the value of every human life and the need for justice even in the most remote corners of the nation. In the pursuit of gold, no one should have to die.